In the winter of 1692, inside a small Massachusetts colony, the Salem Witch Trials spread a dark shadow across the landscape of the early America colonies. A religious splinter group called the Puritans was granted a charter in the English colony of Massachusetts Bay. Their desire was to create a new perfect society based on the principles of the Bible, a theocracy with no separation of church and state. It's been 70 years since the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth, and England has yet to sign a formal charter. The land called the New World remains an untamed frontier. Fear of hostile Indians threaten the colonies. There is no clear governing body, and the only existing law is provided by the Puritan Church, which demands that individual sins be cleansed through public humiliation. In the village of Salem, two family clans, the Putnams and the Proctors, remain in conflict over land disputes and social differences. Seeking an upper hand in government and religious affairs, Thomas Putnam hires Samuel Parris from Barbados to serve as village minister. Putnam sweetens the deal by offering land, salary, and a steady supply of wood from the villagers. Parris brings with him from Barbados his slave Tituba, whose wild stories of fortune-telling and multiple gods enrapture the thoughts and action of Parris's daughter Betty and her 11-year-old cousin, Abigail Williams. Soon after falling into unexplainable fits of paranoia and seizure, both girls began accusing Salem villagers of casting spells, of consorting with the devil, of being witches. Villagers used the witch hunt as a convenient and powerful tool to get rid of their imagined or real enemies. Once a person was accused of being a witch, it was still necessary to provide concrete evidence before the prosecution. But how do you prove a spell or a curse has been cast?
Witchcraft is defined as the act of invoking spiritual powers to accomplish a supernatural task, such as placing a curse upon a neighbor or telling the future. With the allowance of spectral evidence, the accused only need to appear as if they are possessed by a specter, often in the shape of a bird or a person. Therefore, it would not be the actual person being accused of biting or haunting, but instead their specter was doing it.
Since the specter is only evident to the person making the accusation and not the person being accused, or to the judges, many convictions of guilt rested only on the specter testimonies and behavior of Abigail and Betty. On July 19, 1692, 5 women, including Sarah Good and Rebecca Nurse, were hanged. Contrary to popular belief, no one was burned at the stake. English law had forbidden the practice of burning witches over 150 years earlier. Of those who died, 19 were hanged, 4 died in prison, and one man, Giles Corey, was pressed to death by an increasing weight of rocks. The events in Salem represent the most significant and last outpouring of anti-witchcraft activity imported into the British colonies. The deaths of 20 individuals forever altered the legal process of how trials of this stature would be conducted in America. In a single strike, New England's grasp on the Puritan religious control of public affairs would cease to exist. Innocent or guilty,
Victim or tormentor,
Puritan or Indian,
they are all equal now.